Gents, what's good? Today I want to talk about the changing face of relationships in terms of what's different between a relationship that a woman had in 1810, 1740, and 1950 to 2020. The difference is this: women in the workforce. Maslow's hierarchy of needs, guys, is typical stuff. If you're at the bottom of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, if you know what Maslow's hierarchy of needs is, if you don't know, Google it. If you're at the bottom of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you basically focus only on basic needs: food, shelter, sex, basic needs. If you're at the top of the hierarchy, in other words, you focus on philosophical, psychological, metaphysical things, because people at the bottom are poor and have limited resources and access to food, etc. Survival mode. People at the top are in thrive. They got enough surplus of food, money, and other things to spend more of their brain power doing nothing but thinking, versus at the bottom where the only thing you do is focus on the hunger. At the top, you think about some things that don't even have any survival related issues. It's like why black holes exist, because you're not worried about whether you're gonna have a meal tomorrow morning or not. And you tempt people who are at the top of Maslow's hierarchy will have larger brains. Yes, because they've got more sustenance, more resources to consume to feed their minds physically and intangibly, right? Compared to people at the bottom. That's why kids in poor countries are malnourished, not only in physical stature, but in mental development. Their brains can be smaller because they don't have enough resources to feed brain growth, right? Now, what does this got to do with relationships and money? Whatever, man. You know, what's this got to do with anything, right? What I want you guys to understand is this. I never knew this when I was when I was getting into these relationships and whatnot. I didn't know this. I had no idea that this is what's happened. Basically, once upon a time, women needed men to survive physically. A woman was in mortal danger if she did not have a mate who was agreeable with her to protect her and to supply her with certain kinds of food, specifically protein from fish, from meat, etc. She could get her own berries. But even then, if she went into a territory that belonged to somebody else, she could be raped, she could be killed. So she needed physical protection from a man that was agreeable to her. So she needed a mate to protect her, and she needed a mate to provide access to that protein, right? Which is what our kids need, of course, to develop fully. So women needed men. It didn't matter if the man was the most exciting in terms of fun and enjoyable to be around. He just had to serve his basal needs in order for her to find him attractive and want him in her life. This was the same thing throughout time when women couldn't work, they couldn't get their own money, so they needed a man to depend on money for. So, of course, they went looking for men, right? So, when women started working, specifically in the Industrial Revolution, they entered the factory space, but it accelerated when it became, of course, World War II and other things of that nature, which forced women to go to the factories because, you know what? Men were on the front line dying for the cause. So women had to work. Women had to be in the factories, women had to be in the office space, and because of that, it led to a cascading effect where after 1945 and so on, women stayed in the workplace and became even more prevalent in the manufacturing sector, in the office services industries, all that, to the point where we have now today women who outstrip the earnings of their male counterparts in certain areas. Women in general, girls across the world, are the majority in many countries of who passes exams in school and who goes on to study in a tertiary level and does better in terms of academics. In other words, more women are getting better paying jobs and working. And in comparison to men, less boys are graduating, they're dropping out more, they're having more issues. Therefore, there is now an abundance of women in the world who have their own income. They earn money on a monthly basis, on a daily basis. Some are CEOs, some are business women. You can look at the Jenner girls, you can look at the Kardashians. These girls make a lot of money. So if a man is introduced into that equation, what does a man do in Kim Kardashian's life? What does a man do in Kylie Jenner's life? Or You know, what does he do there? What are you doing in Rihanna's life, really? Are you just providing money? She's got money. So money is not necessarily the issue. Nick Cannon, what was Nick Cannon providing for Mariah? What is the value proposition? The value proposition has changed. Yes, a man needs not to be a bum. He needs to be able to earn his own income. He needs to be able to look after himself, have a little surplus, be confident, masculine, abundant, on his purpose, profitable, and a challenge. But at the same time, he's got to realize that nowadays, the reason you are in a woman's life is not because of what the reason was before. Before, you were there for the protection more so than exciting her. You were there for being a provider more so than being a companion, right? But now things have changed, right? Now you've got a situation where you are in a woman's life and what you're there for is something a lot of guys don't know. What am I here for? The answer is actually very simple. If you are not, yes, you can provide, but you are not the provider for her. You have the masculine trait of being able to provide, but you're not the provider. That means you're actually there for something else. You're there for providing the dopamine hit. You are a drug. You're a drug dealer. Your job is there to provide excitement for her life, to provide fun, to provide sexual satisfaction and companionship. You are not there to provide money. You're not there to pay her way in life, because a lot of women can do that for themselves nowadays. You're there to make it easier for her to go through life because you can help her pay for certain bills. If you share a house, if you got kids together, you send the kids to school, you're there to ease her passage or her progress or her life with your presence. That's why you still need to be able to provide. But it's not the predominant reason you were there. The reason you're really there is to engage her emotions. Women have you in their lives to make them feel things. That's the most important thing you gotta understand. The predominant reason women need a man in their lives in this modern phase is to feel. She needs to feel something. If she doesn't feel anything, her interest level is gonna be low and she's gonna choose another man over you. You could have money and she'll still choose another guy over you because you make her feel nothing. You've got to understand this. It's never about what you feel. It's about what she feels. It's never about whether you love her, you care about her, you would die for her. She doesn't give a damn. What matters is, can you make her feel that way? Can you make her feel that she would die for you? Can you make her feel that she has to do whatever the hell you want because you are that alpha, that she's got to do whatever it takes to keep you? There are women that will watch their man sleep with another woman and stay because he is able to make her feel in a way that is so strong and so in line with what women crave in terms of emotional ups and downs, that she will stay with that guy. That's why you can find a guy who's always cheating on his woman, but makes her feel the right things, is able to keep her, while you cheat once, but because you don't make her feel those ups and downs or that strength of that, emotion, she's willing to walk away. It's because you don't make her feel a certain way. So you got to make sure to understand that in the modern world, and obviously also in the past at some points, all it's about is how you make her feel. That's all you've got to focus on. How do I make this woman feel? And you got to understand, you're a dopamine inducing entity. Your job is to make her feel pleasurable emotions. That is from what you say, from what you do, from how you make her chase after you by being a challenge. She wants to feel a certain way. She wants the dramas. She wants the fun. She wants to be like Brooke in The Young and the Restless, in The Bold and the Beautiful. She's always changing up. She's done the father, she's done the son, she's done the son's brother. She is all over the place. She likes that chaos, that feeling, that joy. When she gets bored, she starts looking for adventure and excitement, and that comes from how something makes her feel. If you understand that, then you know that in a relationship, as a man, you are there to make her feel things. You're there to make her feel excited. You're there to make her feel, protected. You're there to make her feel adventure, adventurous, so you could say. You're there to incite feelings in her. You're there to get her blood boiling, make her angry. You're there to make her to refuse to do everything she wants you to do. You're there to make her fight to have your attention and to have you. You're there to make her feel she's got to compete against other women. Otherwise, she will lose you because you are that valuable. Those are the feelings a woman wants in a relationship. That's why nice guys always fail. And I know this. I've been that guy. I will provide a woman stability. I tell a woman I will never leave you. Big mistake. Stupid thing to say. A woman doesn't want a man who's never going to leave her. She wants a man who can leave her, who is willing to leave her, because then the fun, the joy is in trying to stop him from ever leaving her. That's what makes her try to give you the best sex. That's what makes her focus on trying to hold on to you by doing her best, because she knows she can lose you. If she knows she can't lose you because you are in love with her, she gets disrespectful. She stops performing in the bedroom. She stops treating you respectfully. Come on, guys. You don't want to be in that position. So you've got to understand that your relationship with a woman, not only do you lead as the man, and if she challenges your leadership, you get rid of her. You get rid of her, or you stand up to her. And if you stand up to her and she still does not listen every time you stand up to her, get rid of her. If you're in a relationship where you haven't been a leader and now you want to take leadership and she's resisting it, break up with her. That will force her to reset and realize you ain't playing games. So when she comes back, she's got to accept your leadership position, right? The thing is, women want the joys, the feelings, the emotions of relationship. They want a combination of both negative and positive emotions. You could make a woman completely happy and do everything that she wants, and she will still get bored and want to walk away. You know why? Because you're predictable. Emotions are based on oscillations, ups and downs, good and bad, sweet and sour. She wants oscillations. She wants to fight so she can have the makeup sex, right? She wants that kind of situation to be happening in your relationship. Unfortunately, you believe stability, predictability are the magical keys to making a relationship work. That making her feel that your emotions or your feelings about her, your intentions about her are very certain is what's going to make her feel that this is a great guy. It isn't. Even if you've been raised that way, you got to realize that making her feel certainty, making her feel there's a predictability, making her feel that there is a stability is exactly what's going to make her destroy your relationship. If you want to keep her, you've got to learn how to give women dopamine hits. You got to learn how to give her pleasure, do things that give her mental pleasure, whether it's the things you say, the things you do, the places you take her. But you've got to balance it out with the things that you do not do. You got to say no to her. She's got to come to you sometimes and say, I want to do this. You can say, no, we're not doing that. That stuff is vital for her. She needs to hear no from a man. She needs to hear a man put his boundaries. She needs a man to sometimes tell her, I don't want to see you. That provides the game, the drama that she craves, that she needs. Women require that. Unfortunately, for most of us men, we consider that to be a negative thing. So we don't like drama. We don't like all that ups and downs. While women enjoy that. That's what makes them crave a certain guy over you. It's that ability for him to get her emotions to oscillate between very, very rewarding positive emotion and very negative feelings. More positive than negative, but it balances out. So for every two good things you do for her or make her feel, you do one very negative thing. That's what she would prefer. Versus a guy who always does positive and always good, never always forgives. If she does something wrong, he doesn't scream, he doesn't shout, he doesn't tell her she needs to grow up. He doesn't tell her to go away, he doesn't ignore her, doesn't answer her calls. That is a boring relationship to a woman, and she's gonna start looking for a guy who can engage her emotions. That's why I keep saying, it doesn't matter what you feel. It's what she feels. It's what you're making her feel. Ignore her once in a while. You've been calling her every day for 5 weeks. Stop it. Ignore her for a week or two. Just drop a text here and there. Say you're busy. You just caught up in some stuff. I'll get back to you, baby. Whatever. You've got to give her that drama and that contrast between positive and negative. You got to switch those polarities around. That's what's going to keep her interested and engaged. If she can't predict what your next move is, she can't predict what you're going to do. She can't predict what gift you're going to get her this birthday. If you're always getting her the same thing every birthday, it's boring. It's boring. She doesn't want that. If you always go to the same places, it's boring. If you always say the same things, it's boring. Always have the same good morning, good night message, it's boring. Do something different. She needs that oscillation. It's like a movie. She needs all sorts of plot lines and drama to happen for her to enjoy the relationship. And you've also got to start learning how to enjoy the drama. You've got to also start enjoying having her a fight with her and screaming and shouting with her, not destructively, but of course, playfully. You got to learn to make fun of her. You've got to learn to say no to her. There's a joy. It provides a contrast in your relationship. It makes a relationship much more fun. You've got to learn to enjoy the drama, enjoy the unpredictability, because it is that will allow the relationship to last. That's why you will find a couple that's been together 50 years and they screaming and shouting at each other and saying that's what's allowed them to stay together. It isn't, oh, I love you all the time, that's allowed them to stay together. It's that drama, that oscillation, that challenge that woman always has to go through, knowing that this guy is attractive and other women want him because he's always continually improving himself. And he's confident that he can get somebody better than me and can have somebody better than me. I can see other women interested in him. That's why I got to keep trying. You want to put a woman in a position where she always has to work to keep you. If she feels that she doesn't have to do anything for you to stay around her, to be with her, she will stop doing a lot of stuff. She will stop respecting you because you know what? She doesn't respect a man she doesn't have to work to keep. She doesn't respect a man she doesn't feel other women want. She doesn't respect a man who doesn't make her feel things. That is what you need to work on. You need to be that dopamine hit when it comes to women. You need to make her feel some type of way. She needs to get all hot and bothered about you more often than not. She needs to get mad at you sometimes. And when she's mad at you, don't try to fix it so quick. Let her be mad. She needs to enjoy that feeling of being angry at you in order to enjoy that feeling of being not mad at you. But if she's always mad at you, it won't work. If she's always happy, if she's always being treated in a manner that is always right and predictable and good and nice, she won't be happy either. She doesn't want you to do the same things all the time. She wants you to switch it up and change and do that. She treats you like a TV channel. She wants to watch a movie, yes. She knows it's a movie, but she doesn't want the movie to always proceed in the same way. She wants some surprises. And that is what you should be focusing on being able to do. That is how you keep the relationship exciting, in control, and how you deal with this modern emphasis on this fact. Because, like I said, prehistorically, women did not need to worry so much about whether a man is exciting or not. But because now they've moved up Maslow's hierarchy of needs and now they're on the top of the pyramid, their needs have moved not to, can he give me money, but can he excite me? Can he help? Can he give me a fun situation? Can he take me on an adventure? Can he sexually do something incredible to my body? And even if you can do something incredibly sexual to her body, you've got to realize that some days you got to do deliberately underperform. Some days you got to deliberately not please her so that you can provide that oscillation, that good and bad polarity that she needs, that yin and yang balance. That's a good way to actually look at it, yin and yang. Yin and yang is a principle that looks at the concept of balance, a good and bad balance, create balance. And you got to understand, you got to be a good guy and you got to be a bad boy at the same time. You got to be predictable and reliable, predictable and unpredictable at the same time. That is what's going to keep her engaged emotionally. Anything other than that is going to create either a too negative a situation or too nice a situation. That is how you deal with your woman. So think about it. Think about how to apply it. Research it. Look at your relationship. Is it boring? Do something unpredictable. Do something crazy that makes her mad, or the opposite. That's how you get that engagement going on. Until next time, guys, do more, be more, become more on your purpose, and don't be afraid to bring a little drama to your relationship. Don't be afraid when she brings the drama to the relationship. Enjoy the drama, engage in the drama, know what it is that's happening, and have fun with it. She wants it, she likes it that way.